The Bermuda Triangle remains one of the world's greatest mysteries. Many planes and ships that have passed through this region have vanished without a trace. Strange, almost supernatural events are said to occur there. However, there is one person who miraculously survived its clutches, Bruce Jernon. He is the only living witness to the enigma of the Bermuda Triangle. What happened to him that day? How did he escape? This is his shocking story. The Legend of the Triangle. The Bermuda Triangle first captured widespread media attention in 1945 after the disappearance of Flight 19, a group of 5 U.S. Navy bombers. The area is generally defined by drawing a triangle on a map connecting Bermuda, Florida, and Puerto Rico in the North Atlantic Ocean. Throughout its history, an estimated 50 ships and 30 aircraft have disappeared within this region. To this day, no one knows what happened to the people on board, nor has any wreckage from these vessels ever been recovered, which is the most startling fact of all. While many strange incidents have been reported over the years, very few people who have encountered the Triangle's phenomena have lived to tell the tale. Bruce Jernon is one of those rare survivors. A fateful flight. On December 4, 1970, Bruce Jernon embarked on a journey that would become utterly bizarre. He was flying from Andros Airport in the Bahamas to Florida with 2 passengers. After receiving clearance from air traffic control, Jernon, the pilot, taxied his plane down the runway and ascended into the sky. To get from the Bahamas to Florida, one must fly through a portion of the Bermuda Triangle. However, Jernon had no fear. It was a route he flew regularly. But this time, everything was different. The plane reached an altitude of about 10,000 feet when they saw a massive cloud ahead. It was a strange cloud, unlike any Jernon had ever seen in his years of flying. To proceed, they had to cross through it. Mustering his courage, he flew directly into the cloud and managed to get through to the other side. As the plane climbed higher to 11,500 feet, another, even larger and stranger cloud appeared before them. Again, Jernon bravely piloted the aircraft into it. The interior was incredibly dark, giving them the sensation of traveling through a vast, dark cave. Unlike typical storm clouds, which are filled with rain, this one was eerily dry. After flying for some distance, a brilliant flash of light struck them. The passengers thought it was lightning, but Jernon knew it wasn't. This was a different kind of light, an intense flash that illuminated the entire dark cloud. This phenomenon repeated itself. A sense of dread began to creep into Jernon's mind. He felt they were flying into some kind of danger. He kept increasing the plane's speed, but even after flying for 10 to 20 minutes, they couldn't find their way out of the cloud. It was then that he checked his navigation systems and compass, only to find they had all stopped working. They were lost, flying blind through the immense, dark cloud. The electronic fog and the time warp. Suddenly, they saw what looked like a tunnel forming in the clouds ahead. It was a cylindrical vortex, about a mile in diameter. With no other choice, they flew into this cloud tunnel. At that moment, neither Jernon nor his passengers knew where they were or where they were going. One thing was certain, they were in grave danger. All around them was nothing but black, swirling clouds. Fear and hopelessness began to set in. Yet, Jernon held his nerve and pushed the plane forward. In the distance, he spotted a small point of light. As he looked closer, he realized it was an exit. He could see sunlight through it. A wave of relief washed over him, and he steered the plane towards the light, desperate to escape the massive cloud. But as he got closer, he noticed the tunnel was shrinking rapidly. He knew that if they didn't make it out in time, they would be trapped forever. In a life-or-death struggle, Bruce Jernon pushed his plane to its maximum speed. Fortunately, they burst out of the tunnel into a clear, sunny sky. When they looked back, the bizarre cloud they had been trapped in had completely vanished. The plane's instruments, which had been dead, suddenly flickered back to life. Still, Jernon had no idea where they were. He used the radio to contact ground control, explaining their situation. The response from air traffic control was baffling. "We don't see you on our radar. Are you actually flying?" As they continued forward, Jernon saw large buildings appear below. Moments later, ground control radioed again with a new message: "You are now over Florida. We had some radar issues earlier. You are cleared to land at the Florida airport." Without a second thought, Jernon landed the plane. The unbelievable aftermath. After landing, Jernon was flooded with questions. The flight from Andros, Bahamas, to Florida normally took him 90 minutes. However, when he checked the records, he found they had completed the journey in just 47 minutes. How was this possible? The distance is approximately 400 kilometers, and his plane's top speed was only 290 kilometers per hour. It was physically impossible to cover that distance in 47 minutes. He initially thought he had made a mistake, but the takeoff and landing logs confirmed the 47-minute flight time. He then checked the fuel tank. Normally, such a trip would have consumed most of the fuel. But this time, half of the fuel was still in the tank ***. How did this happen? How had the distance seemingly shrunk? Had they experienced some form of teleportation? Jernon discussed the incident with many people, but no one could provide a satisfactory answer. He later wrote books about his experience and, after his own research, developed a theory. He believes they flew through an electronic fog ***, a cloud created by an electromagnetic field that may have distorted time and space, causing his instruments to fail and time to pass differently. However, this theory has never been accepted by the scientific community. A scientific perspective. So, are there truly supernatural forces at work in the Bermuda Triangle? Does it harbor malevolent powers that pull ships and planes into its depths? Recently, an Australian scientist offered a more grounded explanation. The Bermuda Triangle is a vast area, covering between 1.3 and 3.9 million square kilometers. When you compare the ratio of accidents and disappearances in this area to the ratio of accidents in other heavily trafficked parts of the world's oceans, there is no statistically significant difference. In other words, accidents happen in the Bermuda Triangle at roughly the same rate as they do elsewhere. The scientist concluded that the incidents are most likely caused by a combination of the region's notoriously bad weather and human error on the part of the pilots and captains navigating through it.